Hello and a very warm welcome for on this post-match show of this double header in IPL. So in the first match, KKR versus MI continued their winning run against KKR and made it how much? I don't know. Even the head-to-head record is like very poor for Kolkata. But yes, MI won their home match. Whereas in the rematch of the final of the last season, Gujarat Titans versus Rajasthan Royals. Rajasthan Royals had a bit of a sweet moment. They defeated Gujarat Titans by 3 wickets, and we are here to discuss both the matches. I'm joined by Rohan Chaudhary, Rahul, and Bharat Ramaraj. I'll go to Bharat straight away. Bharat, talking about the second match, Sanju Samson played a special knock, followed by that Shimran Hetmeyer finishing. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, once in a while, Sanju Samson comes up with this kind of an innings which can be called as incandescent magic or coruscating magic or whatever you want to say. Sweetly times over, long on, long off, mid wicket, and the way he took on Rashid Khan at the right time that really set it up. And Shimron Atmayer, I go back to that I think Bangladesh versus I think it was a West Indies Bangladesh Test match. That those days he was playing Test matches in 2018. It was a turning track. Second innings, West Indies were some 20 for 4. They went into the lunch break. After the lunch break, first ball he defended. This was a turning track. It was spitting. The ball was really bouncing and turning and hit the next three, four balls from Sakib Al Hasan for sixes. So, if someone who has a lot of confidence, perhaps has not done justice to his potential, he has had problems with the cricket West Indies as well. But when he gets going, especially through the onside, he can clear any boundary. He doesn't need to he doesn't need to hit boundaries. He just hits sixes. So with Dew also there, I think there was a little bit of Dew as well. And finally, with the Hetmeyer also at the crease, RR definitely had everything going for them. And they chase India. Ashwin also came. Finally, also played his part in the right hand side.
We
Mm,
talk about
Sanju Samson became the only second player after Chris Gayle to hit Rashid Khan for three back-to-back sixes in T20 in a T20 game. So that speaks a volume about what sort of mood he was in. Yes, Rohan.
and that goes into his CV. I hate Rashid Khan.
Yes, absolutely.
And yes, Rahul, coming to you, we have been talking about Rajasthan Royals, the top order, Jaiswal, Josh Butler, but today we did not see them the way we saw in the previous games. But the middle order performed and they won. So that speaks about Rajasthan Royals' balance. What do you think?
Really, it's a good sign because if you see the first 2 or 3 matches, Butler and Jaiswal has been their main batting mainstay. They were depending a lot on them because Ryan Parag, Hetmeyer hasn't fired a lot. But today, they were at a position 4 for 2, and at the power they finished the power play with figures of 26 for 2. So at that time, we all thought that the match is going in favor of Gujarat Titans. But from that, the crucial partnership that Sanju Samson played with Particle, that played a big role, that set the stage for Hetmeyer to finish, and Hetmeyer was really impressive with his finishing role. He did the job really well.
Really, a
There's
balanced
Mm,
one
team.
point. There's one point I want to add on this one. As well, he got out to a delivery that bounced extra. Something that I noted at the start of the day that he has been troubled by bounce. Teams have been trying to do that. Hardik is someone followed that up today as well. So that is something to watch
Yes.
in the future games. Whether other teams also will try something similar against Jaiswal.
Hmm.
and a word against on Hardik Pandya's captaincy as well, Bharat. Mohammad Shami was extracting that lateral movement with the new ball, but he held back Mohammad Shami for the later stages, and Shami got backed about by Dhruv Jurel and others in the death. So thoughts on that, Bharat? Should Mohammad Shami be more utilized in the power play with the new ball where his strength lies?
See, this is the gut feel, I guess. Richie Beno, I guess it was Ian Chappell or Richie Beno said it is 90% luck and 10% gut. So it was a gut feel call from him. Uh, Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So obviously, Mohammad Shami's key strength is to get a little bit of swing. There was a little bit of grass, I guess, surface, a little bit of sea movement. But sometimes you take that gut feel call, and I guess they took it.
Okay. Well, now talking about bowling, talk to me about Sandeep Sharma's bowling. 4 overs for 25 runs, 2 wickets, 6.2 economy. He has been good. Your thoughts?
I think he is one of the most consistent Indian bowlers in IPL. He has been doing this since I think 2013-14, bowling well in the death over. Then he has a lot of variation. He bowls slower. He's a perfect bowler, and today also he played a superb role in bowling. I think today also he took wicket as well. So it's not a new thing. I have seen Sandeep Sharma doing this before as well.
Yes. Yes, Shubhan.
And Sandeep Sharma interestingly has similar numbers that of Jasprit Bumrah in the IPL, similar numbers in the power play, similar numbers in the death. Not comparing both of them, but yes, I mean, you, fans tend to hype up one bowler a lot. Of course, Jasprit is on a different level altogether. But Sandeep, what I meant to say is he has not done bad over the years in the IPL. So yes, let's give him some of the credit of how he bowled in the last match, how he has bowled in the past, and how he has done in this game as well. But at the same time, Bharat, uh, of course, we'll talk about Sanju Samson's knock, but Shimran admire the knock he played. He has been playing this knock since the last year for Rajasthan Royals has been extremely consistent. The finisher role in T20 cricket is something which is not related to consistency, but kudos to Shimran how he has make the consistency his word along with the firepower he adds to the team.
I already noted when you have a player who can provide the finishing touches, that's a clear indicator that he must have sheer belief. An example I gave of even a test match on a turning track, the way he smashed some sixes. So he must have lot of belief, and that is why he's able to play this kind of clutch knocks where it could be something like 100 for four or whatever, and then he comes and smashes to 40 of 20 balls. No boundary is large enough for him. He can clear any boundary, and he has that belief to clear it. So it's great that RR have that kind of a player load on the order, and he continues to do the business for them.
Well, Bharat, adding to another thing on GT's bowling, do you think bringing Noor Ahmed in place of Joshua Little was a mistake for Gujarat?
Yeah, you can say it in hindsight. There's a little bit of due as well today, but in his but in his defense, he was bowling somewhere at the back end a couple of overs. One over right at the end, and one more over was again at head, which he bowled reasonably well. Not one can fault him, but yeah, looking at the conditions, there's a little bit of due. You can say seam up was a slightly better option than a spin bowler because a bowler who bowls seam up can at least go for cross seam instead of seam up and try to do something. It's a little bit tougher, I guess, in those conditions even more tough for a spinner in those conditions.
Okay. Yes,
Hmm.
Shubhan.
And Rahul thoughts on Hardik Pandya, the bowler. Of course, we know his hitting skills, his captaincy skills has been talked about. But bowling wise, he's starting with the new ball. He's getting some outswing, getting some in swing. Got some in swing today as well, and finished with 4 overs, 24 runs, 1 wicket at an economy of 6 runs and over. Thoughts on that? He has become one of the main faces of the GT bowling lineup, despite having so many pacers and of course Rashid Khan in that lineup.
Of course, first I will talk about his journey from last year. It has been inspirational because making a comeback to the Indian team again. And today also he was really economical and he was played a huge role. and bowling Rajasthan, keeping quiet for top order, Rajasthan top order. And captaincy role, I would not mention it because against KKR also, they were at a good stage. From that, they lost. I think their lack of death bowling, I think they should improve it from the next match. I think that was what made the difference.
Okay.
KKR,
So
Just
I guess
one more
in
point.
KKR's match. Yes, yes, Bharat, please.
Just one point about Hardik. The thing about his bowling is his in swinger is something that was not there with him. It was not there in his
Hmm.
repertoire a few years ago. It's something that is really developed. That's good to see because he was never confident about that in swinger. But in the first over, in his first over, he's bowling in swing and getting some bounce.
okay. So
Right,
Shubham, before
and going back to Rahul's point, I think we should not read a lot about Hardik Pandya's captaincy in that KKR match because that was something special from Rinku Singh, and I think
No,
that's
that match
something
Rashid
which
was the
will.
captain. He missed that match.
Okay, yes, okay, I'll give you that point. I'll give you
But
that point.
today
Cool.
he didn't brought Mohit Sharma back. Mohit Sharma finished with some impressive figure in the last match. He
Right.
can also ball slower. Neither he used him in the power play, neither in the death over. So
Right. That's a good point, and that speaks a volume about how much homework Rahul has done.
no, because Mohit Sharma, made a comeback after 2 to 3 years. Last match he grabbed the headlines with that figure. So today it was a bit disappointing that he didn't use him.
Right.
and Mohit Sharma, as we last day Shubham was talking about being the favorite of Mahendra Singh Dhoni is not everyone's cup of tea. So Shubham, before we go to
Yeah.
the first match, KKR wala, so we can say that Rajasthan Royals is one of the most balanced sides going forward, and they are really a contender as of now.
I don't want to brag, but yeah, whoever is watching this show can go back to my written preview about Rajasthan Royals and check what I have written about them. And yes, that's the combination. The combination. It's all about the how you do well in the auction and how you pick your playing 11 in the IPL. It's I think they have been spot on with what they have been doing. Apologies for that. My dog is going mad in this summer. But yes, I think
We all
Rajasthan Royals.
know.
We all are going mad. Yes, absolutely.
I
I
think they
think Bharat
can.
is Bharat in Bengaluru is in a good place in terms of weather, but in Kolkata, yeah, Rahul, Rohan, and I, we all are going mad with with the humidity.
I think Rajasthan can book the flight and hotels ticket where the qualifiers will be played. I think so. Don't you guys
Absolutely,
think?
absolutely. I think they are a sure shot team. I am not sure about many other teams, but Rajasthan Royal is certainty to make it to the playoffs, and I'll go all the way and say they are the contenders to win the tournament. They are such
Yeah.
a good balanced unit this time. This time last season also they were a
And
pretty good side.
last season's loss, they have taken it very personally.
Absolutely.
Yes, Shubham. Start with the first match.
Yes. I think KKR's Bharat. I'll go to you. I think KKR's individual performances are have started those two wins due to individual performances. I think that have started to fade off. What do you think? Of course, Venkatesh Iyer scored a century today. The second player in KKR history to score an IPL century since Brendan McCullum started the proceedings in the opener of the IPL in 2008. I think, despite that individual performances, I don't think they can win you matches every time in IPL at least. What do you say, Bharat?
In those conditions, on that flat pitch, they definitely needed 220 or 230. So to get that kind of a score, they needed more than one Venkatesh Iyer. It's like I remember the first T20 World Cup that was played in 2007. Yeah, South Africa were playing West Indies. Chris Gayle hammered 100 on a very flat pitch at the Wanderers, I guess, and they still lost that game. So that is what it was. Today, similar it was. So Venkatesh Iyer played a breathtaking knock. A lot of calyps off there. someone who depends on economy of movement, a little bit of forward movement, little bit of back foot movement, and he got it bang on right. He's also hitting a lot more through the onside, something that we didn't see a couple of seasons ago. Though it's not made any real change, I can't see in his stance, but he's still hitting a lot more to the onside. But just one Venkatesh Iyer, that was not enough for KKR on that. What can you say? On a motorway, it was basically a motorway out there, and 186 was like whatever, it was like 130 on a two-pace track.
Exactly. And Shubhan, as you talk about individual performances for KKR, yes, Venkatesh Iyer, fantastic knock. He won the player of the match being on the losing side, while Mumbai won the match and they played as a unit because Rohit Sharma,
Hmm.
20 of 13, Ishan Kishan, we were talking about Ishan Kishan before the match, brilliant long 58 of
Yeah.
25, Sky 43 of 25, even Team David at good 24 of 13. So Mumbai played as a unit and won. Your thoughts, Rahul?
You are
Rahul,
on
you are
mute,
mute.
Rahul.
Actually, Venkatesh Iyer, who came to the limelight during the IPL 2021, which was played at Dubai, and he also didn't took part in the first part. In the second part, he came and played a superb knock in helping KKR to reach the final. And last year wasn't so good for him, but this year the first match wasn't up to the mark. But he really came back to his form, and the way he has batted today, it's really a good sign for KKR going forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if he become the highest scorer for KKR this time, and he's going to do something big. And for Mumbai, I think the biggest positive is that because Ishan Kishan and Sky form was a sign of concern for them, but the way they came back to the form was really impressive. And if you make someone sit and watch the highlight of their innings, and if you tell them that Sky and Ishan Kishan was going through a lean patch in the first 3 or 4 matches, you wouldn't believe. So that's how they played today. Totally major difference between KL Rahul's innings in the last match. KL Rahul was not so confident trying to get back to runs, but the way these two batsmen played today is really a good sign for MI going forward.
And we were talking about Ishan
And
Kishan's form before these matches. We had pieces that they coming back to the form with confidence is really a good sign for Mumbai going forward. Yes, Shubhan.
and that has been the fun of MI playing KKR every time. Even their most off form players come into form, score some runs. But to be honest, I felt that Ishan Kishan deserved the player of the match performance, player of the match award, given how he gave that start and took MI over the line in the tough overs, because they threw in a Sunil Narayan and a Varun Chakravarti in the power play, and tried to restrict them. So kudos to Ishan Kishan for that. But we spoke about Venkatesh Iyer, and let's see what he has to say about how he goes about his business from a previous interview for Red Sports. Let's see what Venkatesh Iyer has to say. Let's check that out. So Apnil, please play that one. Is Swapnil still there? I don't know.
I think, first of all, a
I
huge
think
thanks for
he's having
KKR.
some network issue.
Had it not been for KKR, I wouldn't have been anywhere. I had a decent Mushtaq Ali last year. I think a few good scores, scores in excess of 90, and one particular innings where I finished the game for my side, which was very special for me. So, with these knocks coming in, KKR scouted me and they picked me in the auction, and it was really, down to the wire in the auction. I was unsold twice, and then I was picked by KKR finally in the final round. So I think once I was in KKR, there was a point where I felt like, okay, I am somewhere. I'm doing something correct in my life. But then the first phase happened, and I did not get my opportunity. But I think thanks to KKR for believing in me and making me understand that even though I'm not playing, I am there. I am there in the mix, and that they did not ignore me altogether. They did not ignore any player for that matter. But to me also, they were really special, and they always kept me in the mix and always kept pushing me that I'll play, and when I play, I'm gonna do well. The confidence that they gave me, it was immense. And break happened, which was a blessing in disguise, not just for me, but for the entire Kolkata Knight Riders family. We were not where we wanted to be at the end of the first leg in India, but then came UAE, and what happened was a story that can be told even 20, 30 years later. It was a really special journey, not just for me, but for KKR as well. And that spirit, I think that spirit that KKR showed, that brought out the best in me. And it would be very wrong if I say that it was me who did that. It was the team that made me do it, which is something that I really would like to cherish, and I'd like to thank KKR for that.
Fantastic stories
That
because
was Venkatesh. Yeah.
uh, uh, I remember Rinku Singh saying that KKR management helped him through his injury phase, and it was his time to give back. Venkatesh Iyer says that KKR management showed some faith in him, and he performed. So these are good stories, but not so good for KKR as a team going on. So, but Bharat, coming to you, I have a question. On before the match, the limelight was on Arjun Tendulkar, not because I don't know any other debutant got that attention because but Arjun Tendulkar with that Tendulkar name in back obviously adds some value to it. But he bowled 2 overs for 17 runs, did not get a wicket, but there were instances he could have got the wicket. But do you think he could have been given another over or more because Meredith and Jansen were expensive bowlers for Mumbai? Your thoughts?
Well, they were slowly, they don't want to him to rush through. Slowly trying to get him into the limelight, or slowly trying to get him into IPL. Few overs here and there. Next match they might give hours or something on those lines. You see, he's still a work in progress. He was bowling, as you know, he balls at around 79 miles per hour. So afterwards, he could have also gone for plenty. He's tall, 6 feet 3, but if you look at his action, the way he tries to bowl, he looks to ball fuller, but even then he doesn't move the ball much. So it's a lot to work on. But yeah, his control looked good in those 2 overs. But Mumbai Indians, I guess they know that he's still a work in progress. So they want to give him the slightly easier overs where he can get a little bit of movement with a wide Kokobara, because I guess that's his main strength. He gets a little bit of movement up front, and that's why they wanted to try him. They tried that with Arshad Khan as well. I think he's a fine swing, promising bowler, but for whatever reason, after the first game, he never looked to swing. But Arjun Tendulkar at least occasionally was looking to swing the ball. So yeah, hopefully with a few more games under his belt, they will start to have more belief in Arjun Tendulkar and give him a few more overs. And interestingly, that was a very tall Mumbai Indians attack. The three bowlers who were very tall, one after another, Cameron Green and obviously Jensen, but none of them seem to really. Yeah, Cameron hits the deck a little bit, but despite being tall, it didn't seem like they were going to hit the deck hard or something like that. But yeah, that was a very interesting fact that Mumbai Indians had three bowlers who were very tall today.
Okay, I'm waiting for the Mumbai versus Gujarat match to see Arjun Tendulkar bowling against Shubman Gill. Yes, Shubhan.
I don't want to comment on that right now, but we'll talk about that when Gujarat face Mumbai Indians. But yes, that was a cheeky one. But I guess that's a good note to end the session, and we'll build up on to the next game. That is a big one: Royal Challengers Bangalore versus Chennai Super Kings coming up tomorrow. Virat Kohli going head to head against his one of the best mates I would ever say in Indian cricket team, MS Dhoni, at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. So that will be one action, one match that we all can't wait to miss on. One of the biggest clashes of in the Indian Premier League history. And thoughts about that, Bharat, your home team playing at your home venue against Chennai Super Kings. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, both teams have two wins, but they have different problems. As you know, CSK have a lot of injury woes. Even Magala is injured now. Stokes obviously is injured. Simarjit is injured. So Patirana has just recovered from COVID, though they might play him tomorrow. So they have those kind of problems. And then you look at RCB, it's a typical inconsistent bug. seem to be hit by an inconsistent bug. In some games, the middle overs and slog overs don't go well for bowlers, and in some other games, the batting unit crumbles after the top order batters get out. The rest of the batters seem to crumble. Anuj Rawat at number 7 or 8. It's not really working. Scored 15 or 22 in the last game. But it worked. Dinesh Karthik, obviously, he has had struggles with his spin. I don't need to go there, especially leg spin. So interesting matchup because both teams have their problems. Both they have 1-2 each. Uh, let's see how it goes. But yeah, just looking at how the dimensions and all of the Chinnaswamy Stadium, I guess, and the injury problems CSK have, I guess RCB have a small advantage here. It's just a small advantage. Though I know the
Okay.
again head-to-head record doesn't go in RCB. It's like KKR MI doesn't go in RCB's favor. But looking at the kind of injury problems CSK have, RCB might have a small advantage.
Okay, Rahul, what are your expectations from the match?
Going to be an exciting battle. Again, the atmosphere will be electric because I think the fans will be divided between two. One will be inside of Virat Kohli and on the side of MS Dhoni. But it reminds me of that match. MS Dhoni, I think, played a heroic knock against RCB in the run chase, and that not once, that twice. I remember while chasing 202, MS Dhoni has hit 20 smash 22 runs against Umesh Jadhav in the last over to win that match. And just around 1 or 2 years ago, he again, I think, produced such performance in the last over to help his team winning. So I would be surprised if MS Dhoni again come and play that kind of role. So it's going to be an exciting battle. But RCB should not be relied on their top two batters as they have been so far.
Yes.
I think lower order Dinesh Karthik should also, they all should chip in. So it's going to be an exciting battle, tomorrow.
Just
Well,
one point to add. It's going to
yeah.
be Sambar versus Karnataka Sambar versus Tamil's Rasam, I guess.
What's the name
Sambar
of this
versus
derby?
Rasam.
Kaveri Derby. It's known as Kaveri Derby. So let's see what happens. In this battle between RCB and Chennai, but we'll continue to analyze. Even though we are diverting a bit from our live shows, we will have something special on Sachin Tendulkar. He's going to turn 50. So there's a lot more lined up on Sachin Tendulkar. We are going to make it special for the Master Blaster. So stay tuned to Ref Sports for more. And thank you, Rahul, Rohan, and Bharat for joining in for this live session. We'll be back. We'll be back with a lot more of IPL analyzation that will continue to go on, although not in our live shows. But yes, we'll have some good discussion on the IPL and the Sachin Tendulkar. Watch out for the book Sachin at 50 and stay tuned to Rev Sports. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.